Federal employees are under distress from an email. See what the message detailed.
And an agreement made under the Biden administration is being receded. See what this means for foreign relations.
Federal agencies are facing a spending freeze. See why the decision was made.
And one of the oldest letterpress shops in the country is staying involved in the community. Find out what they're doing.
And I will be tracking the spotty showers that continue moving through our region this evening. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Andy Zelaya.
And I'm Alexia Bird.
There's confusion in the federal workforce after conflicting guidance about Elon Musk's email ultimatum. Musk's email asked federal employees to highlight what they had accomplished. A failure to respond would be seen as resignation. Just hours before the deadline, the Trump administration declared that responses to the email would be voluntary. Doubling down, Musk has given workers a second opportunity, but he announced failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Several of Trump's agency leads have instructed their workers not to respond to the email. The White House attempted to clarify the contradictory guidance yesterday.
President Donald Trump said today the U.S. will be reversing concessions on an oil transaction agreement made to Venezuela under the Biden administration. Trump cited unmet electoral conditions by authoritarian President Nicolas Maduro. President Trump also noted a dissatisfaction with the pace transporting violent Venezuelan criminals without documentation back to their home country. The Biden administration's license was part of its effort to ease restrictions on certain financial transactions involving Venezuela, particularly in the oil sector. Trump says this authorization will be terminated instead of normal renewal next month.
The Trump administration has announced a spending freeze for federal agency employees. An executive order signed by President Donald Trump today freezes the credit cards of federal agency employees for 30 days. Charges related to natural disaster response and other critical services are exempt. Law enforcement officers, Customs and Border Protection, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement are also exempt from the order. The policy is part of the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to reduce federal spending. Now, let's see what's going on in weather with Jay.
Thank you, Andy. Alexia, yeah, we're tracking some spotty showers that have been kind of moving west to east throughout the day. Those are continuing this evening, even a few embedded rumbles of thunder throughout the day. So those showers are going to be pushing into Ohio as we get further into the evening. Those current temperatures for you, 49 degrees in Indianapolis, a little bit colder as you head north, 40 in South Bend and Chicago, and then a little bit warmer to the south, 60 degrees down in Evansville. For those headlines that we are tracking, the spotty showers continuing, the warm end to the work week, and a weekend cool down.
Tribune Show Print is a gym here in Muncie, with it being the oldest operating letterpress shop in the country. Over 100 years old, the shop continues to create ways for the community to be involved in keeping it up and running. NewsLink Indiana's Kamara Munn went to take a deeper look into what this activity brings to Muncie.
At Tribune Show Print, community members can expand their creative palette through this free workshop once every month. At 145 years old, Tribune Show Print is the oldest continuously operating letterpress shop in the country. It's been in Muncie since 2016 with Mad Jacks and has since found their own place on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. Open Press Night began in January 2024, providing a space for community members to travel back in time and create their own posters. Letterpress printing was popular for carnivals, fairs, and shows. They were also a way to inform the public.
I love teaching people how to print. It gives me a lot of joy. I want everybody to love print just like I do, and it's really exciting to see people who have never printed before to get to the process, get it on press, and then see the print come off of it. Everybody's always so excited.
Kim Miller is the owner of Tribune Show Print and says it's important to have these open press nights. President of Muncie Arts and a former teacher, Miller enjoys reaching out to many audiences.
Being involved in like the Human Rights Commission and being involved in like some of the other neighborhoods where people can't go to things because of money, I found it super important for us to be able to do something like that.
Participants can pick from a variety of designs, images, carvings, and more. Many make multiple prints and share them with friends and family. Kevin Klinger is a frequent visitor of Tribune Showprint and an associate professor of architecture. Klinger feels this activity is therapeutic, and the sky's the limit when it comes to the designs.
An opportunity to explore your own creativity. You've got a whole range of different options that you can choose from, but what you end up putting on the paper is a product of your own imagination.
Tribune Showprint welcomes all people regardless of experience. Whether this is your first time printing or not, workers are all hands on deck and will assist with the printing process. In Muncie, Tamara Munn, NewsLink, Indiana.
Open Press Nights are open to children and adults and runs from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tribune Showprint is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
In a profession where giving 100% is the norm, teachers are receiving something in return. And we're not talking about graded papers. NewsLink Indiana's Lauren Burris took a break with Classroom Connections to find out how they support teachers' mental health.
According to Classroom Connections, nearly 50% of teachers nationally said they considered leaving teaching as a profession this year as a result of feeling under-resourced and under-supported. The ongoing issue of teacher burnout led Classroom Connections of East Central Indiana to create its own initiative. Many local organizations sponsored the Wellness Room in hopes of limiting teacher burnout. The Wellness Room targets relaxation with several attributes. Executive Director at Classroom Connections, ECI, took immediate action once receiving feedback from local teachers.
A place for where they could relax and rewind at the end of a hard day, but it's a place where that they can come and commune and connect with other teachers.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. This is amazing.
From massage chairs to a heated couch, this place is all about relaxation and self-care for educators. Many educators say this kind of support is long overdue. One local teacher takes a seat to share how this space could make a difference.
We need it. We deserve it. We pour our love into somebody else. We need to take time to refuel ourselves.
In a recent study done by Classroom Connections, over 90% of educators felt a designated relaxation space decreased their stress. In Muncie, Lauren Burris, NewsLink, Indiana.
Teachers looking to catch a breath of fresh air at the Wellness Room can book 2 30-minute reservations starting March 1st. Coming up, a measles outbreak has hit Texas. See who has been impacted the most.
And the Department of Agriculture is cracking down on bird flu. Find out how this will affect egg prices.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me and I love it.
Welcome back. A recent measles outbreak in Texas has turned fatal. The first measles death has been reported in the West Texas outbreak. State health officials say the school-aged child who was not vaccinated was hospitalized last week. There are 124 confirmed measles cases so far in the outbreak, which started in late January. Most are kids. 18 have been hospitalized.
A new plan announced by the Department of Agriculture aims to control the spread of the bird flu and egg prices. Department of Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is outlining a new strategy she says will mitigate the spread of bird flu and lower egg prices. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, Rollins says the USDA will invest $1 billion into the new plan. It will be paid for, at least in part, by the Department of Government efficiency cuts.
McDonald's has become determined to not let the recent spread of bird flu affect their menu. When it comes to egg prices, McDonald's isn't cracking under pressure. The fast food giant says it isn't charging more for its breakfast items, and they'll also be offering a $1 McMuffin deal on March 2nd to celebrate its 50th anniversary on the menu. An ongoing avian flu has resulted in the deaths of more than 140 million egg-laying birds, according to the Department of Agriculture. This has caused some restaurants, including the Waffle House and Denny's, to boost the price of meals that include eggs.
We've been tracking spotty showers moving throughout our area this afternoon and evening. I'll have all that and more in my full forecast after the break.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
While I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart. So let's talk for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. We've been tracking some spotty showers moving west to east throughout our area for much of today, and those are actually continuing throughout the evening. We've even had an embedded rumble of thunder or two throughout the day. Those showers are going to start pushing into Ohio the further we get into the evening and overnight. For those current temperatures, 49 degrees in Indianapolis, a little bit cooler, 40 degrees in South Bend and Chicago. Then further south, a little bit warmer, 60 degrees down in Evansville. Looking at some temperature data, today we reached a high of about 54 degrees. The average of 44 degrees shows that we're 10 degrees above. We have those nice spring temperatures in effect here. And then the record high of 74 all the way back in 2000. So we're not going to be quite hitting those record temperatures, but still a relief to see those warm temperatures. For tonight, a low of about 41 degrees. Those winds are going to pick up as we head throughout the overnight. You can see gusting out of the west 15 to 20 miles an hour. And those are actually going to pick up as we head further into tomorrow. I'll have a bit more on that in just a second. But first, the precision cast showing that band of rain kind of from a northeast direction here. We see this band of rain pushing out of our area before another band of spotty showers tomorrow comes in. And we could even see a bit of mixed precipitation, although that looks to be just a little bit to our north. So those spotty showers will push out tomorrow evening, giving way to a nice sunny end of your week before a possible little wintry mix again on Saturday. And then for the tomorrow, we have 37 degrees at 8 a.m. A little bit cool to start your day. Notice these winds west at about 10 miles an hour. Those are going to heavily increase throughout the day. 48 degrees, so we see that warm up by noon. And then 52 by 5, but note the winds 20 gusting to possibly 30 out of the west. So it's going to get blustery as we head out. And more on these winds, you can see they really start to increase as we get later into the day, into the evening, before tapering off for your Friday. That 6 to 10 day temperature outlook sees below average on the west coast, kind of neutral in the middle of the country, and then the eastern Midwest in our area sees above average, and then we're really above average down south in those Gulf states, where it's going to finally start to feel like the spring they are used to. That 7-day forecast, 52 degrees as the high tomorrow. Again, those on and off kind of spotty showers throughout the day. 62 for that nice warm up heading into the weekend on Friday. And then a big cool off in the weekend, actually 37 degrees Saturday. And take a look at that low of 20 degrees. So we really cool off this weekend. It's 39 degrees on Sunday before we push into the warmer temperatures again heading into the early week. We see those temperatures start to rise again back to those spring conditions that we are used to. So yeah, those spotty showers were really kind of an issue today. You're walking in and out of classes and it's not raining, then you walk out of class and it is raining, and I even got woken up by a rumble of thunder this morning.
I know, same here. Well, thank you so much, Day. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana, and Deaton has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Andy and Alexia. 2 athletes put the student and student-athlete in one Ball State squad post at home for the first time this season. All this and more next in sports. Be right there.
Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Students who can read by the end of 3rd grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you're reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Emma Deaton with sports. 2 Ball State runners have formed a bond in a different student activity. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Dickman gets the inside scoop.
The NCAA's most recent report states that there are over 190,000 student athletes in Division I sports. And out of those 190,000 strong, 24,000 are track and field athletes. For 2 on the campus of Ball State, though, their experience extends far beyond the track and well into student media.
Senior Jessica Velez and sophomore Macy Hoskins are more than just student athletes.
So much more, in fact, that they serve as executives for Ball Bearings, a magazine run by Ball State students. For Velez, though, student media wasn't always part of the plan. In fact, the desire for change didn't come until more than 2 years into her college career.
I think that I just got very comfortable at where I was at until junior year, and I realized like I need a job. I need a job in 2 years, and so I need to do something now. And joining Ball Bearings was kind of my first step of like actually doing something for my career.
But what caused this major shift for Velez was something that she had heard 2 years prior.
The best advice that I was ever given when I got to college was that I couldn't just be a student athlete.
This sound advice is something that Velez made sure Hoskins followed.
Freshman year, first semester, wasn't involved in student media, but second semester, spring semester, she finally talked me into it. She'd kind of been nagging me for a while, and she was like, you should really come write a story for us.
And after writing her first story, Hoskins knew she couldn't leave.
I had an hour-long phone call with this gentleman, and afterwards I hung up the phone and I cried for like 15 minutes because he had told me like his life story, like didn't hold back, was so open with me, and I was just like so overwhelmed with the emotion of everything that it was like, yeah, I need to like keep doing this.
And while it may not have been easy for Velez at first,
the first few months where I was writing stories, it was incredibly difficult. I didn't sleep a lot that year.
Hoskins is more than thankful she stuck it out.
We're pretty inseparable. She's kind of like an older sister that I never had. She's been really a lot of guidance for me.
In Muncie, Jake Dickman, NewsLink, Indiana.
The baseball team makes a quick pit stop here in Muncie against Illinois State before they head off to Florida. After 8 innings, the Cards fell to the Redbirds 11-1. This game was one for the history books as it was the earliest home opener in program history. Secondly, this game allowed head coach Rich Maloney to get a look at different lineups as he stated.
Well, this game right here was really about, first of all, we got beaten all facets. Second of all, we're trying to find out who our pitchers are and who our lineup is. So it's all about growth right now. We got about 5 more games.
The Cards open MACtion next Friday here at home as they take on Western Michigan. Ball State took on Akron, the #1 in the Mid-American Conference twice. NewsLink Indiana Ethan Kelso has more on the story.
Come out with the right mindset in terms of like communicating, being everywhere on defense. The game probably ends a little differently.
In the beginning of the season, the Ball State Cardinals did not start off strong with the early communication errors to lapse.
Spirit, I thought we did a lot of good things offensively.
Tuesday's game against Akron was no different. Although the squad showed clear struggles on the defensive side, head coach Michael Lewis saw more improvements in other areas.
Than we did in game 1 with them. Our ball screen defense got exploited. You got to give them a lot of credit for putting us in difficult positions. To be able to guard them.
Ball State has been able to keep up with the first team in the MAC. In recent games, they have won in 2 overtime games with huge advantages in the steal category and on their free throw line. Ball State has to make sure they keep the energy in both halves when heading to the MAC tournament. In Muncie, Ethan Kelso, NewsLink, Indiana.
Little bit of a dry week for Ball State sports, but the women's basketball team just picked up a win in overtime, so that's exciting.
Absolutely. I know some of the Ball State sports have been kind of having more losses than wins, but I think after spring break and having some rest, maybe we can pick that up again. But I am excited to see what women's basketball has to offer.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it looks like all the coaches are just striving for growth at this point, and that's a big thing to focus on. So I think there are some high hopes up there for us and good for the basketball team.
Well, thank you so much, Emma. Coming up, Trey Lawrence has your campus coverage. And we have one final look at your weather next.
Yarr! All I wanted was my treasure, and I wound up with a lawsuit from my neighbors. And a belly full of regret.
Thanks, Salty Pete. What a powerful dig story. Okay, great class, everybody. Before we go, let's stand and say the safe digging pledge. Shovels don't know right from wrong, but I do. And I'll always contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before digging. It's the only way to dig.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
Why?
I'm high.
Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Trey Lawrence, and this is your campus coverage. A local Muncie jeweler came to the Alumni Center to showcase his family's deep history within the Muncie community, as well as their business that has lasted over 140 years. I went to the event to find out more. Our Alumni Center was visited by a very talented jeweler from Murray's Jewelers that brought in finished pieces as well as rare gems, necklaces, and rocks. BJ Murray, one of the co-owners for Murray's Jewelers, came in to educate alumni and Muncie locals about his history with fine jewelry. Many showed up to give their support and shared stories about how the rock-solid jewelry store impacted them as well as the community. BJ Murray had the opportunity to show how the local residents helped their business thrive through generations, as well as how it connected the community. From the science to the production and the craft of the jewelry, he has proven how all of these aspects affected both him and the crystal clear community around them, connecting with locals and turning them into lifelong friends.
And then my parents were Burris.
Sandra Wimmer, a local in Muncie, Indiana, explained how BJ Murray and the rest of the Murray family has improved their life and quality of the area. She has been a regular customer for Murray Jewelers for many years, and this is what she had to say about connecting with BJ Murray, the speaker.
I had BJ Murray as a student at Burris when I taught there in the Home Arts program.
The event was met with great success. Many alumni had an excellent time connecting with BJ Murray and learning how the use of gems and jewelry helped make a legacy for a family as well as the rest of the community.
When I was...
Murray Jewelers is open every Wednesday through Friday, 9:30 to 3:30. I don't know about you two, but I'd like to buy my wedding ring from there.
I know. I feel like that's just so... I feel like that's just something so special to give something that historic to your loved one. I just think that's beautiful.
Man, I'm mad I missed this opportunity. How cool would it be to learn about these stones and the production of rings and necklaces and stuff like that?
Well, his shop is still open in downtown Muncie if you ever want to go.
Perfect. That's where I'll be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Trey. Let's see our thank you so much, Trey. We're going to take our one final look at weather.
Yes, thank you. I have that 7-day forecast up for you again. We see 52 degrees on Thursday with those spotty showers continuing, and then a nice warm-up 62 degrees for Friday before a cool off into the 30s, even a low of 20 on Saturday, before a nice warm-up again to start next week as we see those warm spring temperatures return.
Well, thank you so much, Jay. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page and YouTube channel.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.